Hey there, so you're thinking about moving here to Salem, Utah. I am actually here in Salem, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the good and the bad of living right here in Salem, and we're going to hop into it right now. Mariah Koehle here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your very first time here. I'm a licensed and active real estate agent here in Utah, and this channel is literally everything you need to know about eating, working, playing, sleeping, and living in the Salt Lake City, Utah area. If that is of interest to you, consider subscribing down below and make sure you tap that bell for notifications so you are notified every week we drop a new video. We hear from people like you all the time who are looking to move, who are looking to relocate, buy, or sell a property here in Utah, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about making a move in a week, in a month, or even a year from now, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and my team and I would absolutely love to chat with you. So recently I've had some clients that have reached out and they're like, hey, you know what, Mariah, we're thinking about moving out of Salt Lake City and we're looking for something a little smaller. We're looking for like small town feel. We're looking for something a little quieter. We're looking for just a little bit more space. And they're saying, oh, we're thinking somewhere in Utah County. Well, today I'm going to be sharing with you what Salem has to offer, why some people are interested in moving here to Salem, and some of these surrounding areas like Mapleton, Spanish Fork, all of that around here. So let's hop right into it. Number one is the location. People love this location. I'm going to be sharing some aerial views of what Salem and these surrounding areas have to do. But we're talking that, you can see the mountains right behind me, literally like nestled right behind me. There's hiking, there's biking, there are canyons that go through here. Payson Canyon is really close by. So just the location and being so close to the mountains is a big one for people. Number two is the small town charm. Yes, the small town charm. Salem really has right around 10,000 residents here, and it's extremely family friendly. Yes, you'll see lots of people, kids riding their bikes. You'll see, lots of schools and churches, and just it's a great place for families and a great place if, you're looking for a little bit more space, which leads me right into the next one, space. Moving right along to the next one, people are moving out here simply because they want a little bit more space. The space that you're going to have in between homes here, the backyards that you're going to get here typically is going to be a little bit larger than some of the other areas. So space, location, and really just the family friendly is a big draw for others. Moving right along to the next one is cost of living. Cost of living here in Salem is going to be typically less expensive than in Salt Lake City and a lot of those surrounding areas. So you're going to typically be able to get a larger home for a cheaper price, and you're usually going to be able to have a little bit more land, a little bit more space. So for some people, they're like, give me the extra house, like give me the extra space. I want the larger lot, and I don't mind having to commute into Salt Lake simply because I don't have to commute into Salt Lake. So for some people, they're like, they want the larger lot, they want the larger house, they want the more family friendly, they like the spread out areas and being so nestled close to the mountains that are here. So those are some of the major pros for living right here in Salem. I also mentioned this too, but just the small town charm, simply because there are not that many people living here in Salem. It is small town. So a lot of people, they know their neighbors. They know the people that, are working at the grocery store. They know there's a big sense of community here simply because a lot of people who live here also work here or work right in the surrounding areas. So big sense of community, and again, location, beautifully located, so close to these mountains. Like I mentioned before, with the location, if you are into the outdoors and you enjoy being outdoors, I'm telling you, these mountains will give you plenty to do in terms of hiking and biking and fishing and really just the outdoor recreation. A lot of the canyons throughout the year, they will have marathons, half marathons, races through those canyons, especially like Payson Canyon. They'll have, races where They'll have a bus that takes you from the very bottom all the way up to the start line, and then you just run all the way down through the canyon. People love it. It is gorgeous. I have personally done it myself, and I'm telling you, if you are a runner, you will enjoy some of these races that are, throughout these canyons. Salem is not for everybody though, and let me share a few reasons why Salem may not be the right fit for you. If you are looking for something that is a little larger, more shopping, more amenities, more, different things like that, you are not going to have a ton of shopping and dining and restaurants right here in Salem. You are going to go more to Spanish Fork for those different things. And then even into, for example, like a mall, the nearest one is going to be in Provo. So in terms of big malls, in terms of a lot of shopping and dining, you're not going to see as much of that here in Salem, which is why some people actually love living here, is because it is small town. They do not have a lot of those things. There's a lot of little local diners. Yes, there's, some fast food type of things here or quick casual, but a lot of those are going to be out of, right where we are right now. So number one is limited amenities for that. Number two is the commute time. If you are commuting into the city, if you are commuting into Salt Lake, you're looking at least an hour and 10 minutes, sometimes maybe even an hour and 15, depending on what traffic is like. So if you know that you are commuting into Salt Lake on a regular basis, this area, Salem, may be a little bit far for what you're looking for. If you're commuting once a week or, once a month or a couple times, then this may be a great fit for you. But the location, like I said, some people love it because you're nestled right here against the mountains. It's a small town. It's very community driven, larger lots. But just know that because of where the location is, it is going to take you more time to get into Salt Lake. Next up is the weather. Yes, we have to talk about the weather here in Salem. Depending on where you're at, Woodland Hills is actually really close to us here, which is a little bit more nestled up against the mountain. Mostly here in Salem, you are going to have fairly moderate, Utah sort of Salt Lake weather, but you will have, summers are typically going to be pretty warm and winters are usually going to be pretty cold. You're going to have what we call kind of extreme weather, with the summers being hot and with the winters being pretty cold. In terms of, how that fares for average temperatures within Salt Lake, it's pretty normal. You're not way high, unless you're, way higher up on the mountains. The elevation is going to be higher, which means you're going to have more wind, more snow up there. But also in the summertime, it means it's going to be a little bit cooler as well. So just know that weather is a factor here too. So good for some, others, not. Speaking of weather, here in Salem and anywhere in Utah County, Salt Lake, it is dry here. I'm telling you, it is very dry. Some people that are moving here, they're like, Mariah, it feels so dry to me here. You're right, it is. There's not a lot of humidity here in the air, so everything is dry. So it doesn't matter if you're living in Salt Lake or outside or Utah County, it feels dry. So just buckle up if you're not used to that. Many people here get humidifiers for their homes. Some homes even have whole homes or, humidifiers. So the entire house is on a humidifier. Some people need that, some do not, but just kind of keep that in mind as well. But not least is the limited public transportation. Because you are outside of, you're in Utah County, but you're outside of Provo, there is not a lot of public transportation that is coming out this way. A lot of people here that, choose to move here, they're not in need of the public transportation because a lot of them are, everything that they're needing is pretty close by. So just know if you're thinking about moving out here, public transportation, trains, buses, like you're not going to see a ton of that here simply because it's more rural. You're, you're pretty out in the country, but that is also a big draw for some because they want to be in an area like this. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea. If you are thinking about making a move to Salem, like I said, a lot of people love it here because it's pretty family friendly. A lot of people like it. simply because they get a larger lot with a larger home, and there's more space. There's usually a lot less traffic here. While I'm shooting this, it's more rush hour traffic. So you've seen probably more cars go by simply because it is, 5 o'clock at night and people are coming and going, to work and, back home. So, but just kind of have that in the back of your mind. And then also, if you are thinking about moving here and you're like, oh, you know what? The weather is not going to be, it's too dry, or it's a little bit, I am commuting into the city, and having that hour commute, that might be a deal breaker for you simply because of how far it is. Or maybe you don't want as much space, or you don't want as much land, but typically out here too, you're going to get, like I said, a little bit larger home, a little bit more space for a little bit less price. So hopefully this gives you a good idea. And if you are thinking about making a move out here to Utah, my team and I hear from people like you all the time, and we absolutely love it. So feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and it would be our absolute pleasure to chat with you and see how we can help. Take care and wish you a wonderful day. Bye.